Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great. Last week we had my updated Lords of the Fallen review, check it out if you're interested. And today I'm gonna show you the 20 most anticipated single player games of 2024. Let's not make this intro longer than it needs to be and let's have a look at the first game. It's been almost 12 years since the first Dragon's Dogma game came out, which I played on, believe it or not, Xbox 360. So I'm really excited for Dragon's Dogma 2, and if like me you love open world RPGs, then you should really keep an eye out for this one, which will introduce a new variety of monsters that you'll have to grab on and try to climb your way to their weak points. Dragon's Dogma 2 will add a new class, the Trickster, but I'll probably go with the Warrior cause I'm a melee guy who just gets in there and stabs big ass monsters in their big ass cocks. Let's just move on to the second game, which is for sure the most anticipated game of 2024, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I'm just fucking with you, The Last of Us has more remakes and remasters than actual games. The real game I want to show you is Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Which is one of the most visually impressive games yet, and it's finally coming in 2024. I don't know about you, but I'll probably play it on PC, cause knowing Microsoft, they'll most likely lock it to 30 FPS on Series X. Even though, honestly, I think 30 FPS are fine, as long as the graphics are this good. Anyway, we've seen a little bit of combat, and everything is looking great. The next game on my list is way less serious, and also, it's right around the corner. I loved Yakuza Like a Dragon cause it was crazy, fun to play, and most importantly, cause the main protagonist, Ichiban, is a Dragon Quest fan, just like me. That's why the combat is turn-based, and Infinite Wealth seems to be bigger and better in every aspect. I'm sure by the time you find out about this video, the game would have been out already, so let's move on to the next one instead. Manor Lords is a city builder and a real-time strategy game set in medieval times, cause apart from building your city from scratch and micromanaging its resources and units, you can raise an army and have some Total War style battles. But if strategy isn't really your thing and you're more into first-person shooters, then you should take a look at the fifth game. The Stalker 2 trailers looked breathtaking. The gameplay reveal, on the other hand, not so much. Look how ugly this monster is. Did they just import it from Stalker 1 and slap the new texture on it, or what? A lot of elements look outdated, especially in daylight. The frame rate seemed to be pretty low too, so let's just hope the devs will be able to optimize the game enough and maybe get the graphics to a level that's a little closer to the trailers they showed. That being said, Stalker 1's gameplay is what made it great, not the graphics, so I'm still optimistic on this one. Compared to the remake we had a couple of years ago, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will have a bunch of open areas that you can explore. Oh, and you can ride chocobos, some of them can scale cliffs and fly, so the exploration part will be more fun. The combat system, on the other hand, will be almost the same. Let's move on to the seventh game. Outcast originally came out in 1999. I was 10 back then and I didn't have a PC, so I only saw the game on TV and never got to play it. I'm sure a lot of you haven't played it either, but those of you who have know how good it was. The sequel will let you explore a beautiful open world set on an alien planet that you can traverse on foot or with your jetpack. Keep in mind this is a AA game, so expect some jank and average at best voice acting. At number 8 we have another old ass game that's being revived. I don't know if you know this, but Alone in the Dark is the first ever horror game. The new one is a mix of psychological and survival horror, and based on the footage I saw, combat doesn't seem to be that good, so if you're more into solving puzzles and investigating creepy locations, download the demo, play the prologue and get a taste of what to expect. Next we have one of the few next-gen looking games, Black Myth Wukong, which is based on the Journey to the West Chinese mythology, so you'll meet plenty of interesting characters to say the least. From birds with humanoid heads and demons to big-headed tiny creatures. So the universe alone makes this game the most unique Souls-like yet, at least in my opinion. I can't wait to get my ass kicked. Let's move on to the 10th game. You guys like Ghost of Tsushima and want to have more of that, but with worse graphics, performance and animations? Then Rise of the Ronin is what you need. I feel like I'm really good at killing the hype around games and lowering expectations. Anyway, you get to ride a horse and explore an open world set in 19th century Japan. So there are firearms as well. Moving on to the next game, I think just by looking at No Rest for the Wicked, you could tell it's made by the people behind the Ori games. It's not a platformer or a Metroidvania though, cause this is an ARPG with a more modern and interesting take on the genre. When playing this game, you'll have to be precise, cause it's not your usual Diablo-like where you have waves of enemies that you can take out by clicking mindlessly. The 12th game I want to show you is a different type of RPG. I really wanted Avowed to have more photorealistic graphics and basically be some sort of new cutting-edge Skyrim, but that won't happen because I recently found out Avowed is not an open world game. But since it's made by Obsidian, I know this is gonna be an awesome RPG with really good gameplay. Next we have a remake. When Metal Gear Solid Delta was revealed, I was watching it live, and when I saw this part, I screamed like a little bitch. My wife was sitting right next to me, she gave me that look and I could almost hear her think, why the fuck did I marry this man-child? She doesn't understand, this is a 19-year-old game that's getting a remake, and it's one of my favorite games ever. Anyway, let's move on to another long-awaited remake. I grew up playing Gothic 3 and later on Risen and Elix, so I can't wait to play the Gothic Remake. The janky gameplay, the technical issues, the horrendous performance will probably all still be there. All jokes aside, I really hope the remake brings the Gothic series to a new, younger audience who doesn't know the struggle of starting up in a game where everything can one-shot you until you manage to beat enough enemies, level up, get better gear so you can finally have a slightly easier time surviving. The next game on my list will probably be super easy. Since Star Wars Outlaws is made by Ubisoft, it's gonna have a beautiful, huge open world that's gonna be filled with brain-dead AI that can't aim for shit, as you can see here. The physics seem good though, especially during explosions, and the game tries to have seamless transitions from cutscenes to gameplay, which is great for immersion. I'm not even a Star Wars fan and I look forward to playing Outlaws. Let's just hope it won't be downgraded too much. The next game on the other hand has had an upgrade in visual fidelity. Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was delayed several times, but it's now using Unreal Engine 5 and it seems like 2024 is when we'll actually be able to play it. There aren't that many FPS games where you have vampiric powers, so this one should be interesting. Moving on to the 17th game, I played Titan Quest in online co-op with my brother back when I built my first game on PC in 2006, and I can already tell you don't give a fuck, so let's just talk about the actual game. Titan Quest 2 is an ARPG, it's basically a Diablo-like, but it's inspired by Greek mythology, so the atmosphere is far from being dark and the environments are actually vibrant. At the moment of making this video, only this trailer was revealed, just like this next game. Well, except in Silent Hill 2's case, we've seen a little bit of gameplay from the remake, and honestly, it looks insane. Personally, I'm more of a Resident Evil guy, but I'll definitely play the Silent Hill 2 remake. I don't know if you played Greedfall back when it came out, but I did and I found it just average. Some people really liked it, and some people found it boring. Hopefully the devs will address most of the flaws so Greedfall 2 can appeal to a wider audience. Last, but certainly not least, Hades 2 will be coming to early access during the second half of 2024, so if you like roguelites and you haven't played Hades, you'll be able to beat it 69 times before the new one comes out. And that's gonna be it for the most anticipated single-player games of 2024. Let me know if I missed any. As usual, if you found this video helpful or entertaining, a thumbs up would help tremendously. It's been Hitman89, see you guys very soon.
For the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh. Fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up. Play the game, bruh.